Will Grace overcome the legal challenges to her candidacy?
I am hopeful. I am hopeful. As a lawyer too, I am hopeful. Not only as a friend, not only as her tandem, but also as a lawyer. Let me address the issues raised at the set. Two of the justices said, we follow the rule of jus sanguinis in our Constitution, as opposed to jus soli, meaning by blood, not by place of birth. And according to them, since we follow the rule of jus sanguinis, if your parents are unknown, you cannot be a natural-born citizen. In other words, they said, you are stateless if you are a foundling. And the international treaty that says, international convention that says, that foundlings are citizens of the state where they may be found, according to two of the justices, this treaty, this convention is not self-executing, and therefore you need legislation to implement it here. And they said, presumably, that legislation will provide a process that the person should follow. So even if Grace follows that process, according to them, she can no longer be considered a natural-born citizen because a natural-born citizen is a citizen of the Philippines from birth without having to perform any act to acquire or perfect Philippine citizenship. If a process is followed, therefore she cannot be anymore. But in the meantime, she is stateless. Unless a law is passed, unless she follows that law, in the meantime, she is stateless. That's essentially what two justices of the court said. How can I agree with that? Number one, nowhere in the Constitution is the phrase jus sanguinis seen or written. They're merely inferring it from the fact that we follow blood relation. Nakalagay kasi sa Constitution, if your father or mother is a citizen of the Philippines, then you're a natural-born citizen of the Philippines. They're merely inferring it from that statement, that we follow jus sanguinis. But I think they're mistaken in one basic fact. Jus sanguinis only applies if your parents are known. But if your parents are not known, how can jus sanguinis even be applied to a foundling? Secondly, Article 2, Section 4 of our Constitution states the generally accepted principles of international law, which includes this convention, form part of the law of the land. It does not say that we require implementing legislation because it's quite simple. The convention merely says if you are found in a particular country, you are a citizen of that country. And they said that it's political because 5 elected senators voted for her and the 3 unelected justices voted against her. If there is something political about it, it will be the vote of the last senator who did not vote for her. Because that's the most political that you can go and think of. We would have expected and presumed that Senator Binay would either inhibit or vote against self-interest and vote in favor of Grace.
Or abstain.
Or inhibit, abstain, inhibit, or vote in her favor. Because clearly there was conflict of interest. And she voted in line with that conflict. There's nothing more political than that, comparing it to the 5 senators who voted for Senator Grace. I respect, of course, as a fellow lawyer, Mayor Duterte's opinion, but I clearly disagree with it. When he said he disagrees with the majority opinion of the SET, it does not necessarily mean I cannot go into his motives, why he thinks that way. All I can say is that I disagree with it as a fellow lawyer as well.